Subscribe AIM and get the latest technological updates every day. Also press this bell icon so you won't miss any of my latest videos. Hi guys, welcome back to AIM. So guys, in this video we will be learning the effects of alloying elements on the properties of the steel. So alloying, what is alloying? So let's say we have this iron ore just extracted from the earth's crust. So this is the iron ore which is like in the raw form. So guys, this iron ore it not usable at all in my applications in my machining also. So guys, at it does not possesses the desired properties which is required by me. It is not suitable for the further machining, so it's not. So I just eliminate this. The next one, if we have this rods made up of steel, which is an alloy of iron and carbon. So steel is nothing but the combination of iron and carbon. So guys, steel is an alloy which is having the properties. Iron is the major element such as the base metal, whereas carbon is the impurities, or we can call it as the secondary ingredient. This is the impurities. So just like we had the impurities added to enhance the mechanical and the chemical properties of the particular elements. So apart from the carbon, there are other alloying materials. So let's begin. Let's see all that particular materials. The first is the chromium. So chromium, I have located the same in the periodic table. That is the Cr. This is the transition element, typically denoted by Cr. It is added to increase the luster and durability. Basically, for luster and durability, chromium is there. Also, it increases the resistance to corrosion, such as oxidation, resistance to oxidation. The next is the nickel. So guys, it is also the transition element or the metal Ni, which is typically denoted by Ni. So it's used to increase the hardness of the steel and the strength of the steel. Also it provides the greater toughness. Also it provides a good toughness, resistance to bending. Also it provides a resistance to corrosion and oxidation. So the next one is the molybdenum. So guys, it is also same. It's also located in the periodic table, typically denoted by Mo. So guys, it increases the resistance to pitting corrosion by the chloride formation and the sulphur chemicals. So it greatly increases the hardness and hardenability of the steel. The next is the carbon. As we all know, our favorite carbon. It's a non-metal, basically, typically denoted by C. So as the percentage of the carbon in the steel increases, the hardness of the steel increases. So it's directly proportional to each other. So there are types of the steels which are segregated according to the percentage of the carbon, such as the low carbon steel, medium carbon steel, and high carbon steel. So let's see the percentage of the carbon. In the low carbon steel, it is like less than 0.30% of the carbon, whereas in the medium carbon steel it is 0.30 to 0.45% of the carbon, and in the high carbon steel it's up to 1.5% of the carbon. The next is the manganese. It's also the metal transition element, such as typically denoted by Mn. So it's added to the steel to increase the working properties and the tensile strength of the tensile strength and the machinability. It increases the toughness also and the hardenability of the steel. Also, it can be used as the substitute for the nickel. The next is the titanium. So titanium is also the same. It's a metal, typically denoted by Ti. So it's an alloying element in the steel, typically used for the carbon stabilization in steel, such as while doing the carbon stabilization, it forms the titanium carbides also, which is typically used in the cutting tools. So it minimizes the occurrences of the intergranular corrosions. The next is the phosphorus. So guys, phosphorus is the non-metal which is have shown it in this periodic table, typically denoted by P. It's always used with the sulphur to improve the machinability. So in low alloy steel, it increases the strength, and also it increases the tendency to the cracking during the welding. So next is the sulphur. So guys, sulphur is also the same like the phosphorus, which is also a non-metal, typically denoted by S. So it improves the machinability. Also. Its content is the limited to 0.05% in steels. It's the typically weldability of the steel decreases with the increase in the sulfur content. The next is the selenium. So guys, selenium is also just like a non-metal, so it's typically denoted by Se. The selenium improves the machinability in the steel, machinability of the steel. Also it's known as the columbium, it's the pet name somewhat like that. So next is the niobium. So guys, the niobium is also a transition element in the metal, so typically denoted by Nb. So it's added to the steel to improve this, to stabilize the carbon content, such as the titanium also. The next is the nitrogen. So nitrogen is a non-metal, it's a gas likely, denoted by letter N, capital N. So it increases the yield strength in a particular metal or in a steel to in the austenitic stainless steel basically. The next is the silicon. So as it's denoted by Si, silicon. So it's used as the deoxidizing agent of the melting of this particular steel. So it used in the so it can be used for the hardening purposes also, and it can be used in the electrical devices and electrical sheets as well, and in the electrical circuits also. The next is the cobalt. So cobalt is like a metal, so I have shown it here in the periodic table, typically denoted by Co. So cobalt is the highly radioactive substance. So it's like a ferromagnetic in nature. So guys, we'll see the letter like the magnetism. So hence it's widely used in the alnico alloys. The guys, next is the copper. So copper, as we all know, this is the cuprum and copper, so typically denoted by letter Cu. So copper is added to increase the hardness and the corrosion. It's mainly the corrosion resistance. So guys, the next is the zinc, last one. This is, so zinc is denoted by letter Zn. So it increases the corrosion resistance and also the hardness. So guys, so far we have seen the effects of the alloying elements on the properties of the steel. So guys, I hope you understand this alloying elements, also the properties of the steel, how it changes. So we have also seen this location of each element in the periodic table. So guys, thank you for watching my video. Please do hit like, please do subscribe, and please do share also guys. Thank you.